Hi, it's Lawyer Vince, and welcome back to How to Convince. Today, we're talking about something everyone needs, but most people were never taught: how to stand your ground when you don't have the title, the seniority, or the loudest voice in the room. Because let's be honest, people will test you. They'll test your boundaries, your confidence, and sometimes even your worth. And if you don't have the language ready, you either say nothing and feel small, or you overreact and lose your credibility. Standing your ground isn't about being aggressive. It's about calm authority. It's knowing how to speak clearly, stay composed, and hold your position without needing power to prove it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, drop a like, and join the newsletter with the link in the description. That's where you can send your questions and get featured in future Q&A episodes. All right, let's get into it. Most people think power comes from position, from titles, from seniority, from who sits at the head of the table. But real power doesn't come from where you sit. It comes from how you show up, with clarity and consistency. Because clarity earns trust, and consistency earns respect. People might outrank you, but if they can't predict your standards, they can't control you. That's what self-advocacy really is. It's not about talking louder or having the final say. It's about standing steady when everyone else starts spinning. And to do that, you only need 3 moves. The first, deflect pressure. Pressure is the oldest trick in the book. Someone rushes you, corners you, challenges you in front of others, and before you know it, you're reacting emotionally, defending instead of deciding. Deflecting pressure means slowing the moment down. It's saying, let me think about that, instead of rushing to prove yourself. It's giving yourself space, because when you pause, you lead the pace. Number 2, disarm tactics. This is where you remove the emotional charge from someone else's tone. When people raise their voice, get sarcastic, or try to intimidate, they want a reaction. They want your adrenaline, your apology, or your over-explanation. Disarming means refusing to give them that satisfaction. You keep your tone low, your face neutral, and your words clean. You don't match energy, you manage it. That's how you keep the power on your side of the table. Number 3, redirect to standards. This is where you win without fighting. When things get messy, don't argue emotion, argue structure. Say things like, let's get back to the goal, or let's stay focused on process. Let's base this on facts, not feelings. So you're not dodging accountability, you're defining it. You move the conversation to the ground you can actually control. Process, timelines, deliverables, results. Because when you talk standards, even people with power have to meet you there. Think of it like verbal judo. See, you don't win by pushing harder. You win by staying balanced. You pivot smarter. You let their force reveal their imbalance. And when you stay calm, composed, and consistent, you don't just survive the moment, you command it. Now, here are the 4 power plays you'll face and how to handle them. Number 1, the brush off. They minimize your input. Let's not worry about that right now. See, your move is to anchor the value. Say, this impacts risk and timeline. Let's take 2 minutes on it, then decide the next steps. Number 2, the credit slide. Your work gets passed off as someone else's, right? Your move is to tag your contribution calmly. Say, yes, that builds on the outline I shared Tuesday. Here's the latest version. Number 3, the scope creep. They add more to your plate without support. Your move, trade-offs, not excuses. You want to say something like, I can take that on, but that will push X by 24 hours. Which should I prioritize? Number 4, the volume play. They talk louder or interrupt you, right? Your move here is to lower your voice, not your standard. Say, let me finish this point, then I'll listen to yours. Pause, repeat once, hold eye contact. Remember, calm doesn't make you weak. It means you're in charge of yourself. Your power isn't in the volume of your words. It's in your delivery. Anyone can talk loudly. Few can talk with authority. Real authority doesn't come from raising your voice. It comes from lowering your stress, slowing your pace, and speaking from conviction instead of emotion. Because confidence isn't about dominating the room. It's about anchoring it. When your voice is calm, people listen closer. When your tone is steady, people trust you more. And when your message is clear, you leave no room for misunderstanding. Let's break this down. calm tone equals control. You can't lead with shaky energy, right? The moment your emotions spike, they control the conversation. But when you breathe, pause, and speak from your center, you send one message without saying a word. I'm grounded, and you can't knock me off balance. Your calm tone becomes proof that you're the adult in the room, even if you're not the one with the title. Direct language is clarity. Clarity cuts through noise. When you stop over explaining, when you drop filler words like maybe, just, or I think, you stop giving people room to question your confidence. Say what you mean and stop when you're done, because clear communication isn't rude, it's efficient. And consistency equals credibility. Here's the truth. If you only stand up sometimes, people test you all the time. They learn when you enforce your boundary and when you don't. But when your tone, your standards, and your follow through stay the same every single time, people start adjusting to you. They stop testing you because they already know the outcome. That's the moment you shift from being reactive to being respected. Consistency is what earns trust. And trust, not volume, not ego, not title, is what creates real power. All right, now let's take it a level deeper with 4 advanced tactics that I teach to my clients. The first, the mirror question. When they say, this isn't a big deal, you say, not a big deal. See, they hear themselves and they often correct. The second tactic is the broken record. State your boundary twice, then stop. Say, I'll finish my point, then I'll listen. If they keep pushing, you disengage. Calm all. Tactic number 3, pre-commit. Decide your rule before the meeting. Say, I don't raise my voice. I don't chase. I speak once clearly. Tactic number 4, escalate by process, not emotion. Say, if we can't align here, I'll summarize options and send to leadership for a decision. So you're not threatening, you're taking control of structure. All right, standing up for yourself is a very important topic. So for this week's Q&A, all the questions I chose are focused on exactly that. Question number 1, how do I push back on my boss without sounding defiant? This is what I want you to say. To hit the goal we set, I recommend X. If we go with Y, here are the risks. Which do you prefer? So you stay respectful and strategic. Question number 2, what if my ideas keep getting ignored? I want you to say, I'll keep this brief, 3 points, then a recommendation. You set the floor, then silence does the rest. Question number 3, how do I handle a coworker who takes credit? You say, glad this is moving. I'll share the version I sent Monday so we can track changes. So you bring receipts, not resentment. Question number 4, how do I advocate for myself without seeming needy? You say, here's what I've delivered, here's what's next, and here's what I'll need to keep that momentum. See, results talk louder than self-promotion, all right? Question number 5, how do I stand up for myself in family dynamics? This one's tough because when it comes to family, logic takes a backseat to emotion. The people who love you most can also push your buttons the fastest. And standing up for yourself with family isn't about winning arguments, it's about changing patterns. See, in family dynamics, power doesn't always come from hierarchy. It comes from history, from who used to yell the loudest, who gave in first, who played peacekeeper, and who walked away. So when you start setting boundaries, it can feel like breaking a family rule, even if that rule was unhealthy to begin with. So here's how you start shifting that energy. You say, I want us to respect each other. I'll finish my point, then I'll listen. See, that line, it's simple but powerful. And let's break down why it works. See, first, it starts with unity, not accusation. I want us to respect each other. So you're not attacking, you're aligning. You're saying, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to reset how we talk. Second, you're setting a clear boundary without hostility. You said, I'll finish my point, then I'll listen. See, that one sentence rebalances the conversation. You're not asking for permission. You're claiming equal ground. You're saying, I deserve the same space to speak that I give to you. And here's the key. When you stay calm while enforcing that line, you model the exact respect you want. You teach them through tone, not lecture. Even if they interrupt again, don't raise your voice, right? Just repeat it. I'll finish my point, then I'll listen. See, that calm repetition becomes your power move. And if the conversation keeps crossing the line, it's okay to step back entirely. You can say, I want to keep this healthy. Let's pause and talk later when we can both listen. That's not walking away. That's walking with dignity. Because here's the truth. Standing up for yourself and family doesn't mean proving you're right. It means proving to yourself that you can stay respectful even when others forget how. You can't control how they speak, but you can control the example you set. Here's your challenge this week. Pick one situation where you normally shrink and write down the exact sentence you'll say next time. Then practice it out loud until it feels natural. Remember, titles give authority on paper, but standards give authority in the room. If this helped, hit subscribe, drop a like, and join the newsletter. Comment calm authority so I know you made it to the end. And if you want one-on-one coaching, I'll help you master these conversations until standing your ground feels automatic. Spots are limited. Link is in the description. This has been How to Convince with Lawyer Vince. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you same time next week.